bondage of the carnal law, brother.
Correct.
We're not under that. Now, let me read this.
What is the carnal law? You can't say something and then stop. The carnal law is because when you just I'm gonna get a scripture.
Go ahead, brother.
Let's go to Matthew's, the 23rd chapter. I'm gonna explain what the carnal law is. The carnal law is not just to say it's the law, so it's carnal, because there's benefit to the law. Because Paul even asked the question, what benefit then have the Jew? Much in every way. So there's a benefit to the law. So we can't say it's just carnal just because what made it carnal is because people would do this. I want to do this thing. Let me sacrifice this thing and then go do it. That's what makes it carnal. But the difference is with the Lord Yahweh Shai is now there's the spirit of the law, which means that now I want to keep the law as opposed to I'm keeping it just because.
I got the Matthew 23:1.
No, I'm going to explain what.
Then spake Yahweh Shai to the multitude and to his disciples, saying, the scribes and the Pharisees sit in Moses' seat.
Right.
All therefore whatsoever they bid you, observe.
Why did he say that to them? This is the Lord, the one the world calls Christ. This is him talking to them. Read that from the top again.
Come on. I'll start at verse 2. The scribes and the Pharisees sit in Moses' seat.
Right.
All therefore whatsoever they bid you, observe.
Right.
That observe and do.
So what they sit in Moses' seat. They are the priests, right? So if they tell you to keep the law, then do that. Why would he say that? Why would he say that if
it was done away with?
If it was done away with, or if he understood that he was the one that was going to do away with it.
Right.
Why would he say that?
Right.
Go ahead.
Come on. It says, after their works, for they say and do not.
Right.
For they bind heavy burdens and grievous to be borne.
Right. This is the carnality of the law. To use it to bolster yourself up. Just like when you gave the example, I'm not like this publican. I fast this many times. I pay my tithes. I do this. I do that. That's the carnality of the law, not just the law itself. It's the person and misusing it because the law has benefit.
And lay them on men's shoulders, but they themselves will not move them with one of their fingers.
So, and as you continue on, what did he call them over and over and over again? Hypocrites. Hypocrites. Over and over and over again. That was the problem with the law, not the law itself. The problem with the law was the people misusing the law to put themselves in a position. I'm a Pharisee. I administer the law. I'm this person. So the Lord, that's what he came to remove. The pride in the law.
No,
go ahead, keep on.
Romans chapter 3, verse 31.
Which is important to note, right? Because this is why you have the Israelites had to fall away and become Gentiles so that all can receive that mercy from this law, from the hypocrisy of the law.
Right.
That's why that's important. Keep going.
Romans chapter 3, verse 31. Do we then make void the law through faith? God forbid.
Right. What does it say? We establish the law. Keep going, bro.
Romans chapter 3, verse 31. Do we then make void the law through faith? God forbid. Yea, we establish the law.
Right, because when you have faith, right? When you now understand in the spirit of the law, you keep it. You keep it. No, we're not listening to you no more.
Romans 8.
Because he knows I'm coming
Romans
back.
8.
You weren't listening this whole time.
I was listening.
No, you weren't.
Brother.
Keep going.
But it's the same
one.
one.
Romans 8 and 7. For if the first covenant had been faultless, then should no place have been sought for the second. For finding fault with them. He
not
said,
the law.
Not
the law. The misuse that the person was going against the law. So the law still stands. The law doesn't all of a sudden.
I got a whole clip ready.
The law doesn't all of a sudden go away. Because even the Lord Yahweh Shai, who is so-called, as the scriptures say, let me say it that way, freeing us from the law, he did so under the law as a sacrifice. He had to be perfect, which is the same law as getting a lamb that was unspotted. When he was hung, he couldn't have his legs broken under the same law. So the law's not done. And this is why the reason why it's important to note this, because there would be Israelites that had no clue about what this law was. So how could they now receive salvation? But if the Lord came to kill the staunchness and the strictness of the law. Keep going.
Matthew chapter 10, verse 34. Think not that I am come to send peace on us. That was the wrong one. I want to think not come to destroy the law.
Matthew 5. Matthew 5.
This is Matthew 5, verse 17. It says, think not that I am come to destroy the law, or the prophets.
Right.
I am come to
I
am not come to destroy, but to fulfill.
When you fulfill something, that means you do it.
That's right. Perfectly.
To a completion.
Right.
To completion.
Right. So bust it. Now we go to the scriptures to explain the history of let's go back to Isaiah 49. I'm sorry, bro. Go ahead. Forgive me. Forgive me. I hope you forgive me.
So this is if you can listen to this, right?
Yes, sir.
This is
somebody go back to Isaiah 49.
John,
and we're gonna start at. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. We're gonna start at 6 where he started, but then we're gonna stop and go back to the first verse of 49.
Right.
this is John 8:6, right?
Yep.
This they said, tempting him, that they might have to accuse him.
This is a One West thing. We just made this stuff up. We just made this stuff up. Let's go.
Coming out the scripture and breaking it down correctly.
Right. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
This they said, tempting him, that they might have to accuse him. But Jesus stooped down and with his finger wrote on the ground as though he heard them not. So when they continued asking him, he lifted up himself and said unto them, he that is without sin among you, let him first cast a stone at her, right?
Yep.
And again he stooped down and wrote on the ground. And they which heard it, being convicted by their own conscience, went out one by one, beginning at the elders, even unto the last. And Jesus was left alone, and the woman standing in the midst. When Jesus had lifted up himself and saw none but the woman, he said unto her, Woman, where are those thine accusers?
Right.
Hath no man condemned thee?
Right.
She said, No man, Lord. And Jesus said unto her, Neither do I condemn thee. Now this is...
Go ahead, bro. Hit it. I'm excited.
Listen, go and sin no more.
Now, why would he say go and sin no more? Why wouldn't he just say you good?
You good? I'm here. Don't worry, I got you. Gave it a gun in the wing.
Here's the thing.
I don't think business, baby girl. You all right?
I don't think you know what the definition of a sin is.
No, he broke it down. He broke it down.
Okay.
Let's go back to Isaiah 49. Let's go back to Isaiah 49.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 49,
so
verse 6.
we can get a complete picture. This is just an Israelite Christian right here. We're going to get the complete picture. Go ahead.
Right. Isaiah 49, verse 6. And he said, It is a light thing that thou shouldest be my servant. Thou should be my servant to rise up the tribes of Jacob,
right,
and to restore the preserved of Israel.
Yep.
I will also give thee for a light to the Gentiles, yep, that thou mightest be my salvation, right, unto the end of the earth.
Now for him, boom, bust it. That's it.
Right.
Because it says Israel and it says Gentile. Let's go to Let's go to the first verse.
Isaiah chapter 49, verse 1. Listen, O owls, unto me.
Can you go to Isaiah 11 and 11?
Yep.
Go ahead.
And hearken.
And somebody go to Isaiah 1 and 1. What is that? Isaiah 1 and 1?
Deuteronomy.
Where it says, "My people doth not consider."
Yep.
That's Isaiah 1 and 3 and 4.
Yeah, hit me. Get that. You get Isaiah 11.
Got it.
And we're gonna continue here.
Come on. Start at the top again. Isaiah 49 and 1. Listen, O owls, unto me, and hearken, ye people from afar.
You people from afar. Right? So this is he talking about Gentiles or is he talking about Israelites? We're gonna find out.
Yahweh hath called me from the womb, from the bowels of my mother hath he made me mention my name. And he made my mouth like a sharp sword, in the shadows of his hand hath he hid me, and made me a polished shaft.
Yep.
In his quiver hath he hid me, yep, and said unto me, Thou art my servant, O Israel, in whom...
So he's talking about people from far. Right. He's talking about the people from the isles, but then he says, you Israel. So where's the distinction? You gotta catch it. We can't just be out here shooting headshots. Right. What happens is the head is small, you might shoot a baby. So you gotta pay attention, you gotta be thorough. Keep going.
Con.
Read that verse again that you just read.
Con. He said unto me, Thou art my servant, O Israel, in whom I will be glorified.
In whom I will be glorified. What is the glory? The glory is the kingdom of heaven.
Yes, right.
The glory is being a joint heir with the Lord Yahweh Shai.
His people.
That's the glory, to rule the whole earth.
His chosen people.
Right now, when you go to Revelation, the 2nd chapter, it says, "He who keepeth my works to the end, will I give a rod of iron, and I will give him power over the nations." Why would it say that? Why would he give those people power over the other nations? Why would he do that?
If everybody was,
if it was for everybody, why would he give this one nation power over the other nations? Why would he do that? And we know it's talking about Israel because when you go to the 7th chapter, it tells you what that governing body is going to be.
or if the Lord loved everybody, if he loved, why would he have another people on top?
Why not have
beat somebody else's down?
And then 6,000 from another nation?
And listen, you know how easy it is for the Lord to snap his fingers and everybody right here being loved? Why is he going to have to destroy this place?
Right. What's the point?
Hey, why did he separate the nations during the time of the
We talked about that. Why even have promises to the fathers? Why even do that?
And then not keep your promise.
Right. And then break your promise.
Right. Break the whole promise.
What kind of God are you?
Right. And
You make a promise.
There's nobody strong enough to swear upon my own name. And then turn around and break it.
Why even have a chosen people?
Right.
What's the point? Which is the rod of mighty inheritance.
Right over his head.
All right, listen to this. This is Isaiah. I'm going to start at 10. This is a dagger. This is going to be a headshot. Isaiah 11 and 10. It says, and in that day shall be a root of Jesse, which will stand for as an ensign for the people. To it shall the Gentiles seek, and his rest shall be glorious.
That's Christ, brother.
We're going to keep reading. We're going to keep reading.
Right. Exactly right. Exactly right.
And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand
to pick up the remnant of Israel.
It shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again a second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria, and from Egypt, and from Pathros, and from Cush, and from Elam, and from Shinar, and from Hamath, and from the isles of the sea.
So when you go to Isaiah 49,
He right?
verses said the people in the isles,
Right.
people from far.
Right. Real quick. Reason why he mentioned the Gentiles because those Israelites who were in these lands were known as Gentiles, and the Apostle Paul had to go out and kick that word and preach that word to bring them back. And this is why the Apostle Paul said, "You once were Gentiles, carried away unto these dumb idols, Pathros, Cush, Elam, Hamath. They were carried away into them dumb idols." So going back full circle, you ask the question, is it only for the Israelites? You goddamn right it's only for the Israelites.
Because it mentioned the root of Jesse. So why is the book of Matthew? I want to read this real quick, right? Matthew 1:1, the generation of Yahushua, the son of David, the son of Abraham. Abraham begot Isaac, and Isaac begot Jacob, and Jacob begot Judas, his brethren. And Judas begot Pharisees, and Zara, and Tamar, and Pharisees begot Esgrom, and Esgrom begot Abram, and Abram begot Abinda.
You see?
That's a whole lot of names.
Let me
Jump right to the point.
Verse I jumped to 5. And Solomon begot Boaz of Rahab, and Boaz begot Obed of Ruth, and Obed begot Jesse, and Jesse begot David the king, and David the king begot Solomon, and there was 5 wives, and Solomon begot. So here's the point there. This line goes all the way back to Yahushua, which goes back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, which line was promised.
Can I get this? Let me get this. I'm gonna get right to the points because we know who's talking, who the Lord is talking to. I'm gonna start at verse 21. This is John 4 and 20. I'll start at 17. It says, the woman answered and said, I have no husband. And Yahushua said, I have no husband. He says, thou hast said well, I have no husband. For thou hast had 5 husbands, and whom thou hast now is not thy husband. And that sayest thou truly. The woman said unto him, Sir, I perceive that thou art a prophet. Our fathers worshipped in this mountain, and ye say that Jerusalem is the place where men are to worship. Yahushua answered and said unto her, Woman, believe me, the hour cometh when ye shall neither in this mountain nor at Jerusalem worship the Father. Ye worship ye know not what. We know what we worship, for salvation is of the Jews. Now let me say this. Now this lady truly believed. She believed that she was an Israelite. She believed that she was of the people. And he said, wait a minute. So with the logic being made throughout this whole world in this time period, why couldn't she make it into the kingdom? Why can't she worship the Father if it was for everybody? That's the question. That's the question.
The Lord told him.
I'll be back next time. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
I'll be back next time.